Hello, this is Mike Reed. Today is August 16th, 2023. And give some people time to come in. I'm doing a news that you can use segment. While I'm waiting on people to come on in, let me go ahead and change my background to the news, industry news. And make sure I got my audio right. Okay. All right, I already have some comments. 63 Impala, what's happening? Untamed Kango, what's happening? Mel, what it do? Got my Atosa hat on today. Evening. Wow, y'all really came in y'all came in quick today. I'm gonna try to keep this one short. I know it's late for you all on the East Coast. I just came home. I didn't have any. What's happening? I wanted to. I feel like it's time that I could bring you guys in on some more of the industry news, because that's mainly what I wanted to bring in is this industry news. So let me start to fold some of this in with you. And the main thing that kind of hit me today was this news with Aldi. And this is kind of like with the rabbit hole I got into with the grocery, with the small grocery. And Aldi is not a small grocery chain. They are a conglomerate. They are a multinational grocery chain with a small footprint store, right? And let me show you guys what I'm talking about with that. How many people in here deal with installs or even with teardowns? And then two, put a 1 in the chat if you deal with installs and teardowns, and then put a 2 in the chat if you are familiar with Aldi. All right, everybody in here that's familiar with Aldi, go ahead, check on in. Let me see if you guys are up to, oh, good, here's a good picture. So every store has to follow the same footprint, right? Everybody has to follow that store footprint. And so Aldi has just made an acquisition. And I'm going to get to what this means to you in just a minute. Let me show you this other screen. New and remodeled stores. So this is also from another news source called Grocery Dive. Aldi plans to open 120 stores in 2023. Now, this is going to be different than a remodel. That's why they say new and remodeled stores. So we're focusing on the remodels, which is this. And let me just go ahead and make this. I'm going to take myself out and show y'all the story. So this story, fair use, the story is from Progressive Grocer. You can go to progressivegrocer.com and get the full thing, get the full story. Emily Crowe is the editor. So Aldi is acquiring Winn-Dixie. This news just hit today as of 2023, August 16, 2023. This news just hit the waves today that Aldi is going to acquire Winn-Dixie and Harvey Supermarket. I'm not familiar with Harvey, but I know who the hell Winn-Dixie is. So what is going to happen is they're going to take on 400 Winn-Dixies and some of these Harvey stores throughout Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, and Mississippi. And I know some of you watching are in at least 2 of those states. So what happens when you when one company takes over another, and then they're going to do a remodel, they're going to redo some of those stores. And what happens is they have to, when they remodel and they decide to keep the building structure, that means they have to tear everything out. They're going to tear everything out, and it has to, let's see here, and it's going to have to match this. Because how many times have you all gone into an Aldi and be like, man, I've never seen an Aldi like this. This is unusual. You haven't. All the Aldis have to follow the same one or two footprints that they have for the North American market. And so Aldi has this. Aldi has the refrigeration cases lined along the back, which is a standard in the grocery business. All right, so in the grocery business, you're going to have along the back walls, and usually like in the center of the store, they might have refrigeration. That's why I put up a little post on that little tiny German grocery store around the corner from my house. They have like 4 refrigerators, and they have it along the walls. Well, Aldi does the same thing. And if you're going to remodel a place, if you're going to go ahead and remodel a Winn-Dixie, what has to happen is you have to remove the refrigeration. And you just can't have anyone remove the refrigeration that is wired up to electricity. The drains are down there, and then the units are full of refrigerant. So what that means for you is if you're in those states, let me go back to this. If you are in the following states that they're starting off with, as far as Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, what that means is some of those 400 stores that they might keep the actual building or redo some of the footprint is they need a refrigeration tech to go in there. And depending on the case, they need you to, one, reclaim the refrigerant so that you can move the case. 2, they're going to need you to detach the electrical connection. 3, it might be bolted to the wall. I've seen some where they have like brackets. They're going to want you to detach all that. Then it's going to have drainage, and then they might have you detach it from there. It all depends on what style of refrigeration they have set up, but they don't have standalone refrigeration. These are all going to be like Hossmann cases and it's a chain that they changed. It's a brand that they changed the name. Guys in the business are gonna know. So, hey, Jacob, what's going on? Bakersfield, California. Nice. You'll get there. Well, this is something that is going to be a little different. There are so many parts to the commercial side of things. So before you have these new stores and all that, and then before they can even destroy the old store, they have to remove the old equipment, and they need you to remove the old equipment. All right. So what about the large companies that service the Winn-Dixies? It's not a large company that service the Winn-Dixie. It's actually Winn-Dixie employees. They usually have their own people. With Publix, and Kroger, and Winn-Dixie's, they're gonna have their own crews because it's just too much refrigeration. But they're getting rid of 400 stores, so that's not something you really want to worry about. All right, and Mel, no, they're typically not going to have zero zone. Zero zone is going to be in your smaller stores. All right, Hossmann is king. Hossmann is number one. Then you got a couple others. We can dive into the different brands on the refrigeration cases in grocery stores a little more, but for you all, it's zero zone. you're going to want to deal with Zero Zones and Texas King and Mark Refrigeration and that kind of thing. You don't want to start jumping off into some of these other cases. What I'm trying to tell you guys about is about getting in there so you can throw your hat in the ring, right? So you let them know you exist so you can at least get some of this money. 400 locations. Before they even demolish the building, they have to remove those cases. Right. And CVS has a lot of standalone. CVS doesn't have. The question here is they're closing a bunch of CVS, yes, but CVS doesn't have any refrigerated cases like such as this. And when you're dealing with a refrigerated case like this is the refrigerant lines are in the concrete in the ground. It's below the unit, and then it goes to a rack system. It is a whole big thing. So they're not just gonna turn some guys loose on this and say, hey, take these sledgehammers and do that. No, EPA states that you have to reclaim the refrigerant. So you have to get out there and let these people know you exist and put your hat in the ring. Say, yeah, I can go on over there. If it's a rack system or something like that, yeah, reclaim it. But if it's a hopefully it's more like a, a standalone unit, a freestanding open air merchandiser that with the condenser on the top, you can go ahead and reclaim the refrigerant or lock it all in the receiver and then remove that condensing unit, and then you can remove the case. So there are the charge of disassembly of these units from the electricity, disassembly. Well, yeah, I'll leave myself in there. So you're gonna want to. So they're gonna need you to disassemble this from the 220. They're gonna need you to disassemble this from the drainage. They're gonna need you to remove the line set. They're gonna need you to remove the bracing that they have, so that these cases don't fall over onto the customers. So 400. Let me go back to the story. Let me go back to this story. So Aldi is purchasing 400 locations from Winn-Dixie and Harvey supermarket stores. Here it is. Just hit the news today. And this is appliance news. Not appliance news, but this is grocery news. I monitor grocery. I monitor laundry news, OPL, and that kind of thing. I do this so you don't have to, right? Let me do this. Let me be the weirdo, right? Yeah, congratulations. So yeah, let me be the weirdo that's into this kind of stuff. So let me see what else we got here. Who else we got in the building? Who else we got in the building? So I consume all this news. I digest it, and then I can let you know what this means for you. What this means, even if you're not. I mean, Florida. Florida, Georgia, right there. Alabama and Florida right there. Louisiana, Alabama right there. Louisiana is right there with Texas, right? Mississippi is right there. It's nothing. Mississippi and Georgia, all of these states right here, it's nothing but a hop, skip, and a jump. And even if you're in Kentucky, it's nothing to go down. If you're in downstate Illinois, if you're over there man, even South Carolina and those other states, it's nothing to go on over there, because 400 stores, that's a lot of work. Even if they are going to, and let me say this again, even if they are going to demolish the building, those refrigerated cases have refrigerant in them. Man, my internet is lagging. Sorry, guys. It's hot and something's going on with Comcast. So, are you guys seeing me okay? Is everything okay with the stream? Seems to be okay right now. So, I am giving you this news. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to contact these people. Oh, good, good, good. Thank you, Bill. Let me flip this over to you. Um, you're going to need to contact these people. Now, I know it says Blue Book, and y'all think about the Blue Book labor, but this is Blue Book as far as construction. These are the people that do the construction for these type of things. All these is going to be taking bids on having their prefabricated structures, their pre-designed, everything is already set up. And so these people are going to be bidding on it. But the bidding is the tear down is different than the install. It's too difficult to it's too difficult and there's too many problems with bidding on a tear down and an install. So they chop it up, right? So these 400 locations, they're going to be looking for refrigerant techs to be able to reclaim that refrigerant. You got to charge them for the disposal of that. They're going to be looking for refrigerant techs to go ahead and disassemble those cases. They're going to be looking for refrigerant techs to detach those units from the electricity. And they're going to be looking for those techs to take out the drainage, take out if some of them have line sets, detach the line set. And in that way, then you would be charging them to remove those units and take them away. So you're charging them for all of those things, all of those things. Then when they build a new facility, or if they redo that facility, say they split the structure, because Winn-Dixies are pretty big, say they split it, then they would take bids on whoever would install those cases, right? And once again, because there's a lot of people coming in, those cases look like this, right? So they had the dairy. So when you first come into the Aldi's, and I'm telling y'all, but y'all already know, but because I have people that follow me in the UK, they have Aldi's and Littles, and we have Littles here too. But you come in, you got the bread wall, what they call the bread wall. You come in, and then you end up with the fruit, and then you hit the interior cheese wall, and you go through, and you end up running to meat, and then you end up hitting dairy and juice, and then finally the frozen food on the way out to there's the coolers. So all of this has to be disassembled. All of this has to be disassembled. The evaporators and things have to be taken down, and they're going to hire refrigerant technicians to do those things. Let me see, are you guys with me there? So this is an opportunity for those, and you heard about it today. The story just came out 8/16/2023. Aldi acquired Winn-Dixie Harvey supermarkets from Southeastern Grocers. So even if you're not in one of these states, it's a nice piece of change to go ahead and tear down that refrigeration, to go ahead and reclaim that refrigerant from those cases, and you charging them for that. You're charging them for that. You're looking at around 400 locations. So they have like I showed you guys earlier, this supports a long-term growth strategy across the United States. They want to do the 120 new stores. That doesn't affect you. It's got nothing to do with you. All right. So they're going to reach a total of 2,400. But what will affect you, if you can get out there and you can go ahead and get your hat in the ring, is the 400 locations that they're going to redo. Jacksonville, Florida based Southern Grocers, which is now flipped. So they have 420 stores. So that's done. That's over with. It's done. That's done. It's over with. Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So it's lots of work. Lots of work. Lots of work. Hit me up in the chat. Let me see if you guys are following what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, you guys didn't see what I was just showing you. I am so sorry. So what I was showing you here, 2,200 stores in 38 states. They're out of my home state of Illinois. Here's the Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Aldi is going to expand. Whenever there's a depression, whenever there's a recession, yes, it's a bad time for most, but it is a time for expansion with those that have the funds. Those that are in the strongest position always do this stuff time and time again. I know the average age of my viewers, and yeah, you guys have seen this time and time again since we were children. Aldi's has that money, and so this is what they're going to do. Now, let me show you again. Let's go over this. So that's their footprint, and then on the back wall, the right, yeah. So the back wall and then the right wall, that's where they have their refrigeration. Oh yeah, that's right. And they have these cases too. They have these cases. So, oh yeah, no, some of those were Kaizen. Some of them were Kaizen. Kaizen, Kaizen. I forgot what the name brand if it was. Yeah, Batavia, Illinois. So what you have to do is that you're gonna have to get a hold of whoever, either the development or construction department over there with Aldi, or through one of these companies, right? Through Blue Book. And let me see what, because these people email me all the time about construction. Find project leads, building relationships. So all this kind of stuff comes up. And I didn't get a chance to prep this video, but I get offers all the time on putting in a bid on putting in appliances for restaurants and chains and stuff like that. Let's see. Yeah, they want to say. Let's see here. So, okay, you guys are with me. Let me see. Make sure you guys are with me. Okay. So yeah, I know you guys are. I can always tell when the chat is quiet. You guys are studying this kind of stuff. So here are many different companies that are construction companies. And so they're the ones that are going to be doing tear down, right? They have 906 grocery stores that they're looking for people. And this is Texas. 906 grocery stores that are going to be built out, that they're looking for, people to help out with the projects. All right. Come on. So they want to charge, this Blue Book company wants to charge you to be on their website, blah, blah, blah. They will list you for free, but you got all this kind of stuff. But you're going to need to get a hold of some of the companies that are working with Aldi so that you can get that money. Grab those thousands. Grab those thousands with the teardown. And they're not going to do them all at one time. All these contractors, all of these contractors, you can call. I mean, if you get a hold of someone at Aldi, or talk to one of the managers or something, and they give you a contact, it's not going to be easy. It will not be easy, but once you start to get the hang of this, it will be easier. But you want to try to make inroads. You want to try to get your hat in the ring, because someone has to tear down all of that refrigeration. Someone's got to reclaim that refrigerant, and someone's got to disassemble those units. And it might as well be you. So that money is out there. You've heard it first before these other people hear it. You're hearing it. This is news that you can use, right? News that you can use. That's what I was trying to say with my channel. A lot of you guys are coming along, you're learning. And so now here's some more. Here's some more to learn. So I consume all this stuff for you, and then I could let you know what this stuff is. My source is progressivegrocer.com. This just happened today. It hasn't quite been finalized, but it is a definitive agreement. It's a definitive agreement. So unless the federal government says something, they're not allowed to do it. This is going to happen. And so you're looking at 2024. So you got a good couple of years. So it's not like this is going to happen tomorrow, but you've got ample warning, and you have plenty of time to make this happen. Do you have any you guys got any questions on this kind of stuff? Put it in the chat. If you got any kind of questions on this kind of stuff, so I can address it now. Don't worry about what other people think about it. Just hit me up. Whatever you're thinking about right now, just let me know. In the meantime, I'm going to show you a little quick thing about I just ended up having 2 units today with doors that were falling off. Did anybody see the little live? Shoot. Anybody see the live I did today? Let me turn this volume down. That volume was really freaking loud. So I'll wait on y'all to put a couple questions or two in the chat. You have a common problem with doors falling off. I have one. This is the same restaurant. One was a Hoshizaki. Oh, you didn't catch it? All right. One was a Hoshizaki, and this wasn't on the Instagram live. This I just did a little while ago. Ended up having to hammer that sucker off. This is what I figured out works best. You can see how quick that came out. These things usually do not come out quick because they're glued in. They're glued in with the foam. That's the Milwaukee chisel. There's one solid piece of stainless steel. Oh, good. So what happens with these units is the top of the door spring snaps. Yeah, it fell. It fell, and that's about it with that. I got a couple other ones, but so the doors snap. So I had in the same restaurant a true prep table, the left door snapped, and then a Hoshizaki prep table, the door snapped. So now I only brought one door hinge, so now I got to go back tomorrow. But it needs a gas and go. It's a 134A, so I got to gas that thing up. And then earlier I was just showing it was well, I'll tell y'all who the hell it is. It was Flying Biscuit. So we have Flying Biscuit here in Houston. And I have been taking care of Flying Biscuit since day one when they came to Houston. So they have one store now, and they're going to open up 4 more. So Flying Biscuit is going to open up 4 more stores. I don't know what the time frame is, but they just let me know today. So that what you saw was a isomatic that I sold them. I sold that Flying Biscuit location at Isomatic because what you guys need to realize is when you sign up, when you go to these classes I tell you about, and you sign up with Manitowoc, you sign up with Scotsman, you sign up with Hoshizaki, you are then able to sell the product. You can then sell it. So you go out on an ice machine and that ice machine's trash, or they say, oh, it's going to be too much money. You can then turn around and go to the parts house and they have the ice machines in the back. They got the ice machines. If you sign up with Johnstone, they actually have units. They have Johnstone is I believe they have some Scotsman units. If you sign up with United Refrigeration, they have Scotsman as well. And then whatever they don't have, they'll order it for you. Oh yeah, yeah, Flying Biscuit, right? Hey, my apps, what's going on? So, yeah, they're gonna be. I guess they're gonna be expanding. They're another one. They like the ever since Ever since First Watch blew up, and they got their stock market darling. Um, their stock market darling. I guess they want to jump in on that too. Now, First Watch is kind of a pain. I gave you guys the information to get a hold of the service dispatch company that handles them. And I showed you guys some pictures, some tankless water heaters that burnt up and things like that. If you guys want to see some of that, I could do that on another chat another time. But I really just wanted to let you guys know because I saw it and I thought it would be a really good I thought it'd be a really good thing for you guys to know about, that you have this opportunity that you really should jump on, and that is the 400 Aldi locations that are going to happen. So this unit right here, I mean, well, in order for them to put this there, they have to chisel into the floor. Let me make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. In order for them to put this unit here, they have to chisel into the floor. And when they're taking out one of these old Winn-Dixies, you got to take that. They got to hire you to take that out. They got to hire you to take that out. All right. So this is just a little quick thing about industry news. I'll be putting out some stuff with the training as it comes up. I did miss some. I've been lagging behind on some others. There is some more bun training. There's a on the residential side. There's LeBaire is tomorrow with their monolith. They got an online webinar. Um, you do have a bun webinar coming out, and that's for the McDonald's. I mean, I'm sorry, that's for the Starbucks. That's for the nitrous coffee machine that they have that normally sits off to the side. LP, what's happening? Anyone that works on Wasserstrom. Okay, so Wasserstrom is going to be Wasserstrom is a dealer, right? And so what that is a rebranded unit that's going to be originally made by Atosa or by MVP or by Dukers or one of these. You have a customer in Denton, right? Who needs early morning service. I doubt it. No, I don't think anybody's gonna touch a Wasserstrom fridge. Well, the problem is it's a regular fridge, but the problem is that everybody's gonna say the same thing. Everybody's gonna say the same thing. They're gonna be like, "Oh hell, I can't get the parts," because the Wasserstrom model and serial number isn't gonna sub over to Atosa. It isn't gonna sub over to Majali. It isn't going to sub because it's not going to sub over to MVP. You would have to actually know, because there's a couple people in the chat that are really intimate with the Atosa, right? So we would know based on that very long model number that actually is an Atosa, and know to get the parts from Atosa to fix that unit. Yeah, unfortunately, a Wasserstrom it's going to be a bottom of the barrel type of situation, unfortunately. Yeah. All right. So, and that's why I show you guys these pictures, right? My app says is Wasserstrom like a Kenmore. Wasserstrom is right. It's okay. So a Tosa, right? It's crazy that I'm wearing the hat. It's crazy that I'm wearing the hat right now. This brand right here, Atosa. Let me go ahead and give you guys the Atosa lesson. Atosa. Let me make sure you're seeing it. Let me make sure you're seeing it. This is a Tosa. Now, I've shown you guys before what a Tosa looks like, right? You've seen some of this stuff. Now, a Tosa is a Chinese manufacturer, right? They make blenders, mixers, slicers. Now they got speed ovens. They got a robot. They make fryers. And what they do is, let's see here. Right, they open their merchandisers now. They're making this stuff in China, and then they're shipping this stuff over to the US. If just like what I said with the Magic Chef yesterday, just like I said with the Magic Chef yesterday. So what Wasserstrom has is Wasserstrom is a huge online dealer. They're a huge online dealer. Here's Wasserstrom. They're not a manufacturer. They're just an online dealer. And so in order to, like what the Kenmore business model is, in order for no one to compete with you on price, or for you to use what's called a loss leader, right? If you want to go ahead and let's say you buy the refrigerator for $10 and you want to sell it for $5, well, that is your right. If you want to do that, if you want to lose money, then so be it. That's your thing. So they'll have these things, right? And here is the real deal on it, right? Here's the real deal. Let me see if I can get to these. Let me bring this in so you guys can see. Let me explain this marketing to you. Let me explain this marketing. There's True, Hoshizaki. They're selling True. They're selling Hoshizaki. Whatever the hell Darling is. Never heard of Darling. That's probably them. Darling. There's my Fagor. Turbo Air Federal. Those are all top names. So let me show you. We'll go with this one. Let me make sure you guys are seeing this. So boom, this is a good shot. Everybody seeing this? Let me bring this down a little bit to make sure that you guys can see that Wasserstrom name. So you see Wasserstrom, the name up at the top. They're the dealer. You see there's damn it. See they're selling Turbo Air. This Turbo Air unit is $15,962. They go to Wasserstrom and they go ahead and say, hey man, we got $50,000 and we need, let's say 6 of these units or whatever. So, and they're like, oh man, our budget is short. What Wasserstrom will do is they will sell them, up to as many as they can on these Turbo Airs, and then they'll take one that's in the Wasserstrom name that they can practically give it to them. They can't do that with the Turbo Air name. They're restricted. They have to sell it at a certain price. Otherwise, they'd be in violation of the MSRP. So they can go ahead and take something very similar that is got their name on it, their model number, their serial number, and if they wanted to, they could say, hey, if you buy 10 Turbo Airs, we'll give you a free case. But you can't say if you buy 10 Turbo Airs, the 11th one is free. That's illegal. You can't do that. They can do that if they have their own brand. And so A Smart has their own brand, which I was servicing up until recently, and I decided not to service anymore. It's a long story. And Wasserstrom now has their own brand. Webstaurant has their own brand. You guys know who Webstaurant is. Let's see if you guys know. You guys familiar with any of this? All right, let me get it. Y'all got me going down rabbit holes today. Commercial refrigeration. So these people, they sell everything. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but I had a store. I was selling stuff, and I had to compete with this type of situation where I had a store, and here it is. These guys will ship, and then they'll ship for free or ship for $100. But the shipping for me was costing me $500 or 300, 375, and they were shipping for less than that. Then we started going into battles about 10-year warranty, 5-year warranty, all that kind of stuff, which is no problem for me if you were buying in my area. If you weren't buying in my area, I can't give you a 10-year warranty. Can't give you a 5-year warranty. Advantico, you're not going to find this anywhere other than Webstaurant. And the reason for that is that this is their house brand. This is their house brand. And if you break these down and you actually look at them and you look at the parts, you'll be like, man, that look a little familiar. Game recognized game. You look a little familiar. And then when you start to look, R600, you start to look at the model numbers and stuff, start to look at the construction, you'll start to realize who actually makes this for who. Right? So those in my on the stream right now, you might know some of this looks a little familiar. So you have these Chinese companies that are making this stuff, and they say, hey, if you buy a sea container full of our product, we will slap your name on this sucker. And if you want to sell this for $1 million, knock yourself out. If you want to sell this for $1, it's your money, knock yourself out. Long story short, the parts are available. All right. So this, I got to go back. I'll go back. I'm going to show you Webstaurant. Webstaurant has parts. So there's sell parts. Let me see if I can get to it here. Webstaurant has parts. That's part of the hook, is that you and I, we can get together. We can have our own company. We can have our own brand. FUBU refrigerators. All right, we have FUBU refrigerators, and if you order a sea container, you order so much, you get 1% parts with your order. Right, so for every many pieces you order, they'll give you parts. They'll give you hinges, compressors, evaporators, fan motors, the whole nine. So they have the parts, and you have to excuse me because this is on the fly. Here we go. Here's parts. Here's parts. If you were to call All Points, if you were to call Parts Town, this is not going to be readily found, right? But these guys have the parts, and they get to do whatever the hell they want to. That's what I complain about on some of those chats. I say you got these cheap foreign stuff, and they're practically giving the customer the parts. So Webstaurant, Wasserstrom, they'll make a deal. They'll make a deal with a restaurant chain, and they'll sell them the equipment, and then here they are. They're like, oh, yeah, oh, you need a compressor? All right, here, we'll give you one. Oh, you need fan motor? All right, we'll send those out. Just get somebody to put it in. And that's where those other guys have the issue. And, you know, it's more of an issue for people like me and you than it is for the other guys, because they're dealing with much, you know, their chains are buying nationwide for stuff. So you see how long I'm going. See how long I'm going. Let me just click on one. Advantico right there. So they have compressors, R290 compressor. They have compressors. They've got evaporators. They got all kind of stuff. Let me make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. All right. Are you guys with me so far? I said it. These manufacturers look, yeah, yeah, they're looking for people and opportunities. They are. They are. You got to let yourself be known. Got to. You got to promote your business. Got to promote your business, man. You got to let these people know that you are here and you are able to do this work for them. Dryers, right? Overloads, relays. Let me go back. Let me go back one more. And feel free to put your questions in the chat. Put your questions in the chat. Let me address them. Let me address your questions. I'm a little far removed from where you guys are. So it helps me when you guys go ahead and put your questions out there, because some of this stuff it doesn't occur to me that you guys may or may not know some of this stuff. ABC. ABC. Always be closing. So here it is. Here's your drain. So yeah, a lot of times you guys are like, man, where do I get these parts? Where do I get this? All right. So this often breaks. This often breaks. The employees will be they'll move stuff around inside of the refrigeration case, and then they'll snap this. So this is the drain. This part is attached to the bottom of the drain pan that's suspended, and then this part is exposed inside the case, and there's a clear hose that usually runs back into the back part of the refrigeration unit. And when you know it, this section here normally gets snapped off. That part there will get snapped off. Here you got heating elements, drains. They have parts because they'll give them 1% parts. And so they're more than likely the deal that they've made with them is that they've ordered additional parts for sale. And then, of course, they get those parts at 5%, 10%, and then they turn around and they might give the parts down for another 10 or 15%, and then they turn around and sell it to us at 50%. Right? So they're your parts. So you were wondering where parts are. Here are your I'm sorry. I gotta go back because this is the wrong brand. This is the wrong brand. Let me go back in the chat. It's Wasserstrom. Hang on. Let's go to Wasserstrom. Let's go to Wasserstrom, and then we'll go to refrigeration, and then we'll go to parts, because either way it goes, you're going to need this. Nobody wants that Wasserstrom, unfortunately. Nobody's going to want to jump on it. It's unfortunate. It's a mom and pop that you're calling me, that you're telling me about, but nobody's going to want that because it is a Wasserstrom. You'd have to be somebody like me that's going to know how to break that down. There's a big, huge player in that Dallas market. And so they take the air out the room. They have access to all the large. Let me see if they have access to all the large chains down there. So the mom and pops don't have anybody to really rely on. They don't have anybody to really call, because let me see if I can find Wasserstrom shop by brand. They don't have anybody to call, because if that big dog up there doesn't want to deal with it, which they don't, because they sell their own parts, so they don't have any access to parts, so they're not going to touch that brand. Ain't nobody going to. Those people might as well wait on you. Let me see here. All right, what'd you say, Mel? Yeah, man, I don't know why this is loading. I don't know what's going on right now. Normally my internet is pretty decent. I am trying to find that part section for you. Let's see together. Bear with me. Let's see if we can find parts. Let's see if it's down here somewhere. Let's see if it's down here. Sales and service. So let's do the search then. Parts. If you guys see it and I'm missing it, let me know. Okay, cool. There's your Vitamix parts. Somebody was asking me about Vitamix. There's your Vitamix parts. So they have parts. You can also contact these people. Blendex part? Really? They got Blendex parts. That's new. All right. So they got parts. Here's the Amana transformer. You're right. Parts by okay. So see, they're in league with Parts Town, Volrath Parts. Some of you guys might have seen me do some of those. Salvador. Salvador's garbage disposals. Huge. Take a whole cadaver, put it down the sink type garbage disposals. So let's see here. I am not seeing any parts. Parts. Let's say evaporator. Espresso parts. Let's see what we got. No parts. Let's see here. Motor. Let's see. Fan motor. See what they got. It's not doing that. So they have 226 matches. So here's what you got to do. Right? Nobody's going to want to touch this washer strom unit, bro. Nobody's going to keep those people on the hook. Keep those people. All right, LP. Nobody wants that call. It's a good unit. Let me see how much that damn unit costs. It's a good unit, right? It's not like it's cheap, but no one in your market is going to want to touch that. This isn't working. Washer strong fridge. Let's see, for sale. Here we go. Did we hit pay dirt? Let's see. Washer strom is not easy to use. This is not easy to use. Not a fan. Anyway, I got dead air here messing around with this damn thing. Randale. Oh, God, I hate Randale. I got a part on order for Randale right now. I'm kind of glad they got purchased. All right. You're looking right here with me. I can't find it. I can't find the Washer Strom brand. I have no idea. So the best thing you could ever do, LP, take the model and serial number of anybody that calls you. All right, my apps. I see you put a message, my apps. I'll get to it. All right, you don't work on commercial. Yeah, I know he was begging. Nobody wants to touch it. Nobody wants to touch it. All right, you got to go to the sandwich shop, and the restaurant was in full blast. I don't work on commercial, right? But you should try your hand at it. You do residential, right? The guy was begging you. Yeah, the guy's begging you because nobody wants to touch it. Nobody wants to touch it. Tell you what, I will help you out with this. If you do go and help this guy out, I'm going to need the model and serial number on this unit. All right. Now, there is, funny you should say the Dallas market, because I received a phone call yesterday from someone moving to the Dallas market, and he was concerned that he wouldn't get any work, right? Or that, it might be hard to find the work. Brother, I didn't ask this man to text this message. I did not ask this man to put this message up here. I swear. I talked to the brother on the phone yesterday for 2 hours. I did not tell this man I did not tell LP to put this message up there. I swear to you. I swear to you. I did not tell him to put this message up here. Dallas has lots of work, man. Dallas has lots of work. Like I said, there's this big elephant in the room up there, and I will not say anything bad about them because they allow me to take training at their facility in Dallas. Thank you very much. They will, but they're such a huge company. They straddle 3 states. They take care of 3 states. Yeah, not so much Daewoo. Oh, let me get to my app's question. My app's original question. All right, excuse me. Other than Dexter Laundry Chain, you mentioned that there are Ooh, excuse me. You mentioned that there are other commercial laundry training. Oh yeah, there's lots of others. All right, so you got the Dexter, you got Milner. Milner is always going to be in Louisiana. It's never going to be else anywhere other than Louisiana. And that's as you guys come along. There's been a lot more laundry people than I had ever anticipated. Um, so I got to build that part of the information out. But Speed Queen has theirs. So Speed Queen has their training. COVID messed everything up, but Speed Queen has their training regionally. They're going to have their regionally. They also have their training in Wisconsin, and everything's been all dicey ever since COVID. But they will have the different distributors all around the country. They have their training. That's why I put out the one that was in Chicago with Coinomatic. Um, you guys knew about the ones on the East Coast. I did one in California. There's more coming out. So as they come out, um, I've heard of 2000, but I haven't seen it lately. Um, as this stuff comes out, I will notify you. But this is all depending upon the trainer's availability, them able to ship training units around the country, schedules of availability on the distributor that's locally. And I got into an argument with a distributor up in, I don't know if he's in Ohio or something, but I had to set him straight, man. He didn't want to give me any training information, and they already have the information out. So not only is the training information available from the manufacturer, letting everyone know, hey, the training, we're hosting training and it's going to be in this market, but the actual distributor that will be the physical location where the training is going to be at, they also put that information out. So I had to let the guy know, hey, look, man, I'm going to get this by hook or by crook. I'm going to get the information. So don't worry about it. As it comes out, I'll let you guys know. So you, like I said, you got only one that doesn't have any, that never does any training is Fagor. But other than that, Speed Queen does theirs. Milner does their training. Um, Continental has training. Dexter has training. As they come out, I'll give it to you. That's the whole purpose of this channel, is that there is no central place for any of this information. No central place. Right? No central place for this. So I'll let you guys know as it comes out. Yeah. So tell that guy. Yeah. I know, LP. Right. Oh, sure. No problem, Mel. So it says here, Wasserstrom seems like, no, Wasserstrom is just like, it's a loss leader. I don't know if you guys remember, there was like Triangle Electronics, Best Buy has Signature and Walmart has their own house brand owned and all that other stuff. That's what that is. Someone else is making it. The dealer is selling it. And so the dealer is no longer chained. They can do whatever the hell they want with it. If they want to say the first 500 people come in the store gets a free, unit, they can do that as long as it's got their name brand on it. They're free. They can do whatever they want to. Oh, brother, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. But like I said, I haven't seen 2000. I haven't seen anything related to 2000. Uh, let's see here. No, I don't see any. I don't see any 2000. Yeah, there it is. 2000 commercial refrigeration. Yeah, 2000 machinery. 2000 machinery. I think I might have seen something like once. Yeah, I am not familiar. I am not familiar. I heard of it, never worked on it. Right. Insignia equals Medea. So see, and it's the same thing. It's the same. Hold on. It's the same thing. Same thing on this side. So you're saying you can't find parts? Have you tried? Okay, you got a couple of options when it comes to parts. And are they still in business? Because if they're still in business, you just call 2000. Let's see here. Let's see if their website. Oh, it says China. It says China. Yeah. 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 Ah. Worldwide shipping. Yeah. Welcome to the new world. This is what I've been talking about. This is what I'm talking about. You are not. All right, let me do this for you. Let me do this for you. Stop looking all over the world for this stuff. The only place you're going to find the parts is with the actual manufacturer. You're going to have to, yeah. Like I said, when they ship this stuff over by sea container, they get 1% parts. So like 1.5% parts with every order, every sea container. The manufacturer has the parts. You call the source. You call, let me take this off of me. You are going to call these people directly. All right. You're going to call them directly. I'll call them too because I'm interested now. I had heard it, but oh, Jesus, they don't even have the US number. So you're going to have to email them. They got a US email. You're going to have to email them Guangzhou, China. Live chat. Okay. So it's daytime there. Hold on. Let's see what time it is in Guangzhou, China. It should be daytime. It should be daytime in Guangzhou. I don't know where the hell I saw 2000 before, man. I don't know where I saw. Oh, damn. I meant to say time. Time. So what time is it? Cantonese time. Hey, middle of the day. You can catch them for lunch. You did it? You called them? You called them? It's lunchtime over there. It is lunchtime over there in Guangzhou, China. Right now, it is 11:17 a.m. So, what hell? While I got y'all on the line, hell, I just asked them about parts. Yeah, I'll ask their asses about parts. Why not? Why not? You did it. You did call. Wait, you're gonna have to put a little bit more in that chat other than 3 words. You did call them. You did message them. So what did they say? Because this is something, I'm glad he put this up here because this is something that affects me too. I know somebody, because I get people that call me talking about weird stuff all the time. Somebody might just call me. Who knows? What the hell is a live chat? It says live chat. Live chat. And are you guys seeing this cooking or baking? Is it an oven? What do you got going on, man? Is it an oven? Oh, you are emailing back and forth. So what they have 1% parts wherever their warehouse is, that's what you need. All right. So Bento is emailing back and forth. And this is a very common thing. When you're emailing back and forth, whether it's Italy or whether you're emailing back and forth, Italy, Turkey, or China, right? Those are the 3 you're going to be dealing with the most. When you're dealing with them 3, oh, you need an evaporator. Oh, it's a refrigerator. Oh, yeah, you did say refrigerator. I was looking at ovens. Wherever they have a warehouse, believe it or not, they're going to have like a little shelf, and that stuff is going to be on the shelf. All those spare parts that they take out of the crate, they just line those up on the shelf. And so you actually have to tell them what you need and get that out to you. There's going to be an evaporator over there. And here's the deal with China. They will, because of how China operates with undermining all US operations as far as manufacturing, they will overnight that part. They will put that on an Air China flight to the United States and get that on over to you. Like if you were in Chicago, if you were in LA, if you were in Houston, yeah, they'll overnight that flight. They'll overnight that sucker on a Chinese carrier flag, airline. So let me see what I can do here. I'm losing everybody. Yeah, we down like 3 people. All right, let me go back to the 2 refrigerators. This is kind of difficult to get a hold of, isn't it? This is not working too well. So this is your best time of day to email. Oh shoot. This is your best time of day to email them. Or if you want to call them, you call them with Skype. Oh yeah, yeah, good. They told you 3 to 5 days. Yeah, you're not gonna find that evaporator. Only way you're gonna find out whose evaporator you could use in replace of it is once you actually have it. Chances are it's gonna be an Atosa design. Chances are 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be there is no originality on that side of the planet. It's gonna be either a Duker style, an Atosa style, or I can't think of another name, but Dukers Atosa or Blue. No, Blue is Blue Air China or Blue Air. Can't remember if Blue Air is Chinese or Korean. So that you got no other options, unfortunately. You got no options. I'm just doing this one real quick. I want to see if I can't remember. I forgot just as quick if Blue Air is Chinese or I can't remember if Blue Air is Chinese or Korean. And it makes a big difference. The Korean construction, the Korean parts are completely different than the Chinese parts. The engineering mindset is different, completely different. I am a bigger fan of the Chinese design than the Korean. The Korean is over designed. The Korean lasts longer, like 5 times longer than the Chinese design, but the Korean is harder to work on. I am looking for from a humble start. I want to say this is Chinese. I want to say Blue Air is Chinese. No, there it is, Korean. There it is. South Korea since 1981. So no, you wouldn't be able to take an evaporator. You wouldn't be able to get an evaporator from, let me make that big. You wouldn't be able to get an evaporator from Blue Air. More than likely an evaporator from Atosa or screw it, Atosa. Your best bet would be Atosa. I would, if you're really in a crunch, you can go on Parts Town. Let me go to Parts Town. You can go on Parts Town and you can look at a Tosa evaporator. And you can see which one matches up. You can see which one matches up. Do you have the size of this refrigerator? Like, is it a prep table? Is it an upright? All that kind of stuff. That is what's important. Let me see here. Because they're not original when it comes to that kind of stuff. Not at all. All the Chinese, and that's by design. It's a communist country. That is by design. So you're going to find that in Europe, all the components are going to be the same. They're all by the same few. They're all by the same few manufacturers, all the same few part suppliers. And I'm trying to show you refrigeration. I don't know why the hell this is doing this to me. And I have an Atosa guy that normally watches my channel, man, and he's not on today. Oh, it's a freezer. Okay. So it's going to be an even smaller evaporator to try and help them out. Oh, that unit is in Cuba. Well, he might just have to make one. He might just have to make one. He can make his own evaporator, just like you make a condensate loop for a drain heater. You're just gonna have to do the same thing with an evaporator. You can It's going to be inefficient, but you're going to have to make an evaporator out of copper. You're going to have to snake the copper back and forth and attach some fins to it. I mean, it's Cuba. I mean, you guys are familiar. You guys are familiar with that. You're gonna have to make your own evaporator. It's more efficient to do an evaporator out of aluminum because it dissipates the heat better. But you're gonna have to do one out of copper, and then maybe add an additional fan motor to help blow that cold air around. Unfortunately. So when you start talking about other countries, then it gets even harder. It gets even harder because now you're not allowed to ship into certain countries. You're these things are regulated. Even if you do try to bring some stuff, then they don't let you because you have like one or two players that are in control in these small island nations, and they don't let you they won't let you play. They won't let you play. So you're gonna have to make an evaporator, bro. You're gonna have to make one. Make one out of copper and then make some fins. You can take some aluminum and make your own fins and just do it like that, unfortunately. Or you're gonna have to get an evaporator from another brand that you can get, one that you can source. Now, I'll show you, since you're in Cuba, or since you're going to be going to Cuba, let me show you something that people don't like. People don't like it. People don't like to talk about it. I'm going to show you this one. This is Lifeco. It showed up. How about that? Get the hell out of here. It showed up. This right here. How bad is that evaporator? So what this is, let me see if I can get the hell up out of this. What this is, I can't see you or see any of the chat right now because it won't let me come off of this right quick. But I'm gonna give you the rundown on this. So what this is you're gonna heat up the aluminum where you have the ruptures, where you have the leak, and then not too hot. You're going to heat this up, and then this sucker is like a piece of hard crayon, and then you're not going to heat the stick. You're going to rub this. See, it says epoxy. You're going to rub this over see, it works on copper tubing. It works on metal, glass, ceramics for use with all refrigerants. It also seals on aluminum or copper tubing. So when you're in a bind like what you're in now, what you do is you heat. Oh, perfect. Let me see that. Let me make sure you all are seeing this. All right. Oh, now I got 3 people watching me. So, and people are gonna say this is hackery, whatever. People are gonna say, this is not right. But this is something that's been around for a long time. It's very hard to find, but it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's hard to find in the parts house. So you heat up the tubing, the aluminum, copper, whatever it is, wherever the leaks are, and then you can go ahead and rub this over it, and it is going to melt like hot wax. It will then harden and not leak again. It will not leak. Now, this is hard, and the aluminum is flexible. So, what I'm going to say is this: the ruptures that you have will continue to happen. So, you'll end up having to apply this on more and more sections of the ruptured aluminum. But this will seal. Oh, hey, no problem, Ed. This will seal your leak. Put one in the chat if you guys have time for show and tell. 'Cause I think I know where it is. Put one in the chat if you have time for show and tell. If y'all actually want to see one, put a one in the chat. I won't be able to demonstrate it. It is 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. But for your situation in Cuba, you could ship this stick down there, or you could, bring one down. You know how it works. When somebody's going down, you say, "Hey, take this with you." You got a flight from Miami? Okay, here, take this with you. I need you to give this to so and so when you get to Havana. So you heat it up, and then this gently rubs on the metal. You don't need to get it cherry hot. You just need to get it. You just need to heat it, and then you'll rub. All right, I'll go ahead and get the stick, and then you just rub this on there, and then this is gonna melt, and it melts into the leak, and it forms a cap, and it's going to turn from that green to another color, and it's hard. It will be rock hard. Pause. But this does not solve the problem of the aluminum itself is degrading. What you're having down there in Havana, you have the same problem I have. I'm in the tropic zone. That pressure, the humidity, and the ambient temperature, it is causing that pressure inside the system to expand, and it is causing these ruptures. It's actually not contaminants. It is that it is under constant high pressure, and it is actually poking holes. And so you can take that stick and you will solve your problem. Will it be a permanent fix? No. Will it probably last you for about 5 years? Probably. I'll stick my neck out there and say probably. So show and tell. Let me see if I can put on a video for you guys. So you're not watching dead air. You're not in dead air. So let me see what I got for you. I got some stuff. I just came on just a spur of a moment. Yeah, it's $18 for the stick. It's been $18 for a long time. Been $18 for decades. So let me see what I got for y'all. Let me see what I can show y'all real quick while I go ahead and do this show and freaking tell. So let me see here. Let me get put something in the chat so I can find something for y'all. Oh, Bento, no problem. Benito. I don't know why I'm calling you Bento, man. I am so bad with names. Benito, my bad. Benito. So that's something that you can ship on down there. You give to somebody. You heat it up. It's like a crayon. You do not heat the actual stick. You heat the surface, whether it's copper, aluminum, like they say, glass or whatever. So, and you heat the surface, and then you rub that on there, and it is going to melt on there like wax. But it's not as soft as wax. It's more like a crayon, like a really hard brittle crayon, and that sucker is going to melt on there, and that'll be that. What the? Oh shit! I'm watching myself. I'm like, ooh, Aldi, that made the news? No, they didn't make the news. Let me show you this. Yeah. All right, let me start. Rich Malachi. Let me do that. And it's only going to take me a second to go ahead and get this stick, what's left of it anyway. But I don't want to have no dead air. Subscribe to my guy. This is a good guy, man. He's a SFESA member. I think he's a board member or something. I don't see any malice with this dude. This guy has been nothing but straightforward and honest with me. I see this guy as a straight shooter. He's taken some young kids and he's trained them in the business. Here we go. Is this from today? Yes. Fair use. Oh, hold on.
Proud of
fair use.
Unox is that their
Fair use.
in the oven space.
And I wanted to show you this stuff about Unox.
Already, 2000.
Yeah, we'll talk about
smart.
That, but I really don't get much off
cooking technology to automatically change the cooking process based on differences in the food or other external things. And they were actually already using IoT, Internet of Things, at that time. We were collecting data, giving it to the operators of the ovens, the chefs, the management team where they could see how the unit was being used. They could see the energy usage, water usage, detergent usage, and the unit would even take information from what they were doing and send them recommendations about other recipes they could be using or other things they could be doing to fill the time in the oven. Then, that was way back then. And more recently, we've really changed sort of the food preservation industry. I think I showed you when you were at the show. We have a system now that you can.
Would have had these things queued up, but
in the combi oven, take it out.
I would have had these things queued up, but like I said, I got excited about that news about the.
You can vacuum seal it in the pan and immediately move it into an Everio. You can hold this product for up to 72 hours.
So this is Rich Malachi's channel. He's the owner. He's the owner of Malachi Parts and Service. He's got two locations: New Jersey, and Long Island. Excuse me. No, I use I don't use State Bar 8, and I use just regular brazen rods 15. So show and tell. Show and tell. Here it is right here. This, I had a screen. Let me see. There we go. That shows. This is green. So I had to put it up against a different surface. It's very brittle. So this is a brand new stick and it broke. So like I said, I've been doing this since I was 15 years old. So I have all this kind of old school stuff. And just as an emergency, I'll show you, like, this is the wrapper that it came in that you guys saw. Something happened with my case. It got cracked and it got damaged. But yeah, the whole tube gets filled up. It's about that long. So here's the phone, so you can see the length of the tube. It's going to fill the tube and it's going to stick out a little bit, just like you see on there. So that's an iPhone 13 Pro. So that's about the size of it. Again, here's a sheet of paper compared to it. So you're going to end up with more than enough as this melts and you rub it on there. It's very little of it is going to you're going to need to fill up the holes on an evaporator. I originally had used these to fill up the holes that come on the evaporators on Sub-Zeros. And this is like back in the 90s. But I think this stick is like maybe 10 years old. Damn, probably older than that. All right. So, Benito, I hope that helps. Because I know it's hard getting it, but this will last. But it won't prevent you from having further ruptures in the evaporator, and you will have further ruptures in the evaporator. But it should last a couple of years. Till you can figure something else out or bring another one down. All right. So, did you guys want anything else? Because I'm just about done. Run around doing some calls and stuff like that. I got to take care of a couple of chains tomorrow. Everybody's been on me. We were up to 118 degrees down here last couple of days. So, good. So we were up to 118 degrees. So I wasn't trying to go anywhere. I was taking care of paperwork. It was even rough just running outside, going from here to there. It's not ideal. All right. Any other questions before I go ahead and knock this off? And just to end this, don't forget, I'm showing you guys the whole purpose of this stream was to show you all that Aldi's is going to be taking over all those stores, 400 some locations. All of that refrigeration that's there, they're going to need a refrigeration tech to go ahead and tear all that down. They're going to need a refrigeration tech to reclaim all that refrigerant before they can disassemble those units, those cases out of the Winn-Dixies. like I said, even if they're going to keep the actual structure of the building and then shrink it down, because they've done that in Chicago. In Chicago, when they added some Aldis, they actually took the former structure and then used the same footprint for an Aldi store, and took the rest of it, made it into storefronts. So they might do the same thing in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi. Let me see if I can go to it. It is Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi. Those are the 4 stores. Those are the 400. You're going to want to reach out. You got plenty of time, but you're going to want to get your hat in the ring. So that is the whole purpose of this. And this story is in the Progressive Grocer. They have a newspaper, but they have the website, progressivegrocer.com. All right. And with that, I'm gonna try to wrap this up. I don't see any other questions. I do appreciate everybody that have donated to the channel. The last donation I had was, let's see here. Oh, I don't see him on the chat. So, but I do want to thank all the donations that I've had so far. I do appreciate it. I hope. Oh, sure, LP. Yeah, thank you for the donation, man. I do appreciate everything, and I hope this helps. Like I said, 400 locations. You're gonna have to tear out all the refrigeration cases at the old Winn-Dixie locations in those former states. 400 stores. Good luck.